No one can plug
Okay,
what
hold
has
on.
been given to me.
You're cutting in and out for me.
Okay,
I'll have to.
it's you. You're hearing it too. Okay, I was about to say
Okay, yeah,
something.
you're cutting in and out. I'm only getting about every third word.
Any better?
That works.
Mm,
Hey,
kinda.
Maybe.
Try again.
uh, Give me just a second.
Imagine us having technical difficulties
Yeah.
in the
It's
middle of an
not
important
me.
topic.
It's not me. I didn't do
Shut
this
up.
stuff.
I'm just
Is
kidding.
that any better?
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Try again.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.
Something on that was against this wall that I'm facing, so I had to move it and move it back.
Not only that, but you have a different mic.
So actually, I've had this mic.
Yeah.
I've had this mic. I just haven't had the boom arm for it.
Oh.
For whatever reason,
Uh,
Amazon didn't ship them together. It delayed it like a month. For
Huh.
whatever reason, I don't know what it is with Amazon. They can't if it's you order it together. Like you know when you're on Amazon, you scroll to the bottom. Sometimes it's like bundle these together.
Uh-huh.
I did that, and it was like this thing will ship this day. This day will ship it this day, and then I got an email saying, "Oh, that's delayed." I was like, "Thanks, Amazon."
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the whole, multicolored one you had. So, but
Oh no, that one just stopped working.
No.
It just we were on
imagine
because
that. Something
we
you
were
have
no
with technology stops
we
working.
were on the podcast and it stopped working because I sound like a chipmunk. And
Oh, that
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's
I
right.
remember that.
I had to like unplug and plug it back in. After that podcast, it just stopped working. I went back to Best Buy and I'm like, hey, and of course I didn't get the protection plan because why
Of
would
course you did.
I?
Of course.
Why would you?
Why wouldn't I get the protection plan? And they're like, oh, you missed the day of this, blah blah. We can't replace it. Da, 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 da. I was like, cool. I
I
was
mean,
like,
it's
thanks.
not like you ever have trouble with technology or anything.
No,
No, not at
never,
all.
never, not at all. And I'm the IT person in the family, so think how everyone else is.
That's how it goes.
Wow, that's just kind of sad,
It
honestly.
is, it is. But welcome to the Long Distance Pizza Party podcast. If you're listening to us live, you probably don't know what we're talking about because we were just waiting for Crad, and I was setting it all up and all that. But yeah, thanks for joining us, whoever is listening out there in YouTube land. For all those who are watch back on the stream or on Spotify, or if you're on our own Discord, which you can chat with us in the Discord if you go through the links and you can chat in the YouTube live stream or just somewhere in the Discord if you'd like. I didn't hear any responses back because I posted something in the Discord,
Oh
but
yeah.
I didn't hear anyone any responses back. But if you go to links down below in the description, you can join that Discord at Long Distance Pizza Party Podcast Discord. This is a strange topic, which I like this one. It's Doc's not here to be the devil's advocate. To if we get too rowdy, I'll just start doing timeout corners or something like that. But it was just friendly topics. I don't know if you had certain topics you want to bring up. Strange. I have some a list of some.
I had a couple examples, but we don't have to do those ones. They were
Right.
just like examples.
Right. Yeah. One of mine. I just had some nerd stuff, and I had some like food ones on there. So I don't know if you had some right off the bat you wanted to do. Or if Krat, if you had any.
Let's see. Eternal security. No, no, just kidding. No, no, I'm just playing. I got nothing off with that. What do you got, Strange? This is your topic. Let's get one of yours going.
Well, I had like Marvel versus DC
Mm.
was one. That's kind of the nerdy side, and then kind of more on the theological side, we could do like pre-trib versus post-trib,
Ooh.
or I don't know. We just pick some topics or anything like that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Like one can somebody can be on one side of theaters are dying or should die, and another one could be like theaters are, should come back or something like that. Theaters are still important. Stuff
Here's a
like that. I
twist.
actually heard that on a different podcast the other day.
Here's a twist.
So,
What if we all agree on everything?
that's why
It may
sometimes we just have to
it
pick a
may
side or something.
happen. Yes. Let's
I don't
I
know.
know last we did talk about some of that theaters should die, shouldn't die. We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, so I thought that was funny that topic came up on the podcast I was listening to right after
Exactly.
our discussion.
Google's listening all the time.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, it was an older podcast. Like I'm behind on that podcast
okay.
by like a couple weeks. So
Oh, well, yeah. Let's do the Marvel DC one for Doc hits here. That way he can be devil's advocate for some of these other ones. Since we have talked about some of these. So who wants to be devil's advocate?
what do you mean, like mediator?
We don't have to have a mediator, but who wants to be the?
I think he's going to say who wants to face off in the debate,
yes,
so to
yes,
speak, is
well,
what he's saying.
I mean,
Oh,
we could all face off, but because I'm very on the fence with it, Marvel versus DC.
Okay, so I think we need to break this down a little bit because you have like just comics and characters in general. You have
The movie
their
side.
ability to do movies or their ability to do TV shows. Because I flip when it comes to movies and TV shows.
I've actually flipped when it comes to Marvel and DC doing TV shows very recently. So
Because I could argue that Marvel makes the better movies, DC makes the better TV shows.
I can agree. I can agree with that. That's always been an argument too.
Yeah.
Because DC's always tried doing movies, and the only ones that do well are what? Superman, to a degree.
Boring.
And Batman. Batman's like their bread and butter for like they're just like let's make a
But
Batman movie.
they've lost touch with Batman in my opinion.
Yes. Well, he's been
They're making it too serious and too boring.
Yes.
Is what it's happening.
Yes. And then you got the TV side when they try to go more obscure, and I think they lose the TV audience.
So I will when I say TV, there's live action and animated, and I say animated. Like DC is I feel the master of animated shows and movies too. So when it comes to animation, DC's better, but when it comes to live action, I think Marvel does better.
I don't know, man. That old Spider-Man show back in the day.
The
I grew
90s
up
one
on.
where he couldn't punch anyone, he only kick them.
Yeah, I mean, that's some good watching, in my opinion. That's just
yeah.
me.
The in the 90s, Marvel, for whatever reason, was like, let's do Spider-Man, Hulk, Iron Man had a show, the Avengers had a show, and then like...
But they didn't really take off. I mean, maybe Spider-Man. I would say Spider-Man did. But most Spider-Man and X-Men.
Those had they had like 4 seasons
Yeah,
each.
X-Men. Yeah, X-Men did a little bit too.
But as far as like staying power, Batman animated series, Superman, Justice League, Justice Friends,
Static Shock. There was
Static Shock. Static Shock was a great show.
Yes.
I feel like DC had more hits when it comes to like animation,
and
even
that,
animated movies. DC has a bigger, better list.
They had really good ones, and at a certain point they were decent, and then there was a decline, and then like they were like in between there would be like good pockets of them. They're all Batman. That's the other thing. They're always Batman movies. They never, for whatever, they couldn't get away from Batman. And then more recently, there was that recent Superman show that came out that has Jack Quaid as Superman, Dennis Quaid's son, and it's really good. Season 3's coming out. They just posted a teaser for season 3, and they're gonna do Lex Luthor and Cyborg Superman.
Yeah,
that's like a big plot.
And then you can't forget Teen Titans.
Teen Titans.
Not Teen Titans Go. Forget Teen Titans Go. I'm talking Teen Titans.
And there was
Amazing
there was the Forgotten Batman show in between the Batman, not to be confused with the Batman movie, which was arguably they tried to connect it to the Teen Titans show, only because the Robin design in that was the Teen Titans design. But only because they were coming out at the same point. I don't think they were ever meant to be connected. They don't even mention Batman at any point in that show.
In Teen Titans? Yeah, they do.
And they allude to him, but they never.
Yeah, like he doesn't appear, but they talk about him.
Oh yeah, and it's frustrating because like you want Batman to show up, or like other greater DC characters to show up, and they don't for whatever reason. For that whole show, like Superman, I don't think after that animated series he can ever take off. They never really got a Superman project after that, like show wise, until very recently.
Mm-hmm.
And that one people really like. It's very anime inspired. So I think that's why people really like it. It's like these different like anime stuff in it. Marvel does though have some good shows. They're just forgotten. Like there was an Avengers show in the 2000s that people really liked, but got canceled because they wanted to do MCU synergy. and it was too comic booky, so they had to make it more like the movies, and I think that's when it lost a lot of its fans. There's a Spider-Man show from the Spectacular Spider-Man that people really like. There's an Iron Man show that some people remember. I thought it was fine. They did Teen Iron Man, which was off-putting for me.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
For whatever reason, they made it Teen Iron Man. I don't know why. And there's a bunch of animated Marvel movies they did that Kevin Feige worked on before he got to the MCU that are good. Like there's a Hulk versus, there's like a Wolverine special, like a Thor special that he did. There's a Doctor Strange movie, which takes that Doctor Strange movie from the MCU takes plots from, but the animated movie's better because it makes it doesn't have I can't even think of the actor's name now. Mads Mikkelsen. They make that character a better character in the animated movie. So like Marvel does have good projects. It's just they want to be very MCU synergistic,
Yeah.
which it's become its problem. And I think they've started to realize that. Hopefully, because that's all they want to focus on the MCU and nothing really else. There was something that Marvel announced. What did they just announce? That was like out of like it was very different. I was like, oh, this is cool, and I think it got canceled. I can't think of what it was now. It was some game. It wasn't a show, but it was a game.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. What was
Maybe it wasn't canceled, but it's being pushed back. It was like a World War II game with Black Panther and Captain America.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Marvel. I think they're always gonna flip with each other when it comes to DC being better with TVs and movies, or with TV shows. Not really. They're still trying to figure out movies. Marvel with shows or with movies. I think they will flip. There's always this flip where DC has a rise, then Marvel has a rise with it. But more recently, DC's had a rise. Like Marvel, if you look at their sales, their sales are dipping.
Oh, yeah.
Like comic wise.
And by comics?
By
Okay.
comic wise, because of some of the synergy they've been doing. Not saying that synergy is the whole reason, but it's some of the like it's event fatigue, it's the synergy, it's all these smaller decisions they've made the last 10 years where it's like people are like, oh, I want to read more DC stuff, or DC's trying other stuff, like with events, with specials, with like graphic novels. They've really pushing graphic novels, and like getting into bookstores, doing stuff with these like the smaller comic book stores. Like they've been trying other things because everyone that works there remembers being that guy in the 90s going to the comic book store, so they're trying to get that feel back.
Mm. Okay.
Who do you think has the better characters overall, though?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next.
Okay,
is
so
characters overall, like overall,
So if
not
you
what they do with them, but the characters themselves.
so if you divide it, who has the better villains, who has the better heroes? Because I think DC has some of the better villains.
Yes.
Because you got Joker,
Mostly Batman's.
yeah, mostly
Mostly
Batman's.
Batman's, yeah.
Superman does
Batman
have
overall has the best villains.
Superman
Fair
Superman does have some good ones. It's just everyone kind of doesn't want to use some of the other ones besides Lex Luthor, and that's about it. Like they don't use Mongol. They use Darkseid. Like there's a couple that they could really use. DC has some good ones. Deathstroke or Slade, which we want to call them, because that was a thing for whatever reason, 2000s.
Yeah.
Catwoman, she's not really a villain. They've made her more of an anti-hero.
Yeah. She's kind of flip-flopped there.
Yeah. Since like the 70s or 80s, she's been kind of that. Marvel has some, but it's very much like they don't get used as much anymore. Some like their better villains, like Red Skull, Magneto. Magneto's also kind of like an anti-hero. Like he's been more on the good side.
Yeah.
Like, he's leading the X-Men right now.
Like he has good reasoning behind his thoughts. Because he's an Auschwitz survivor, right? Like he's seen the worst of humanity. So
but that's his problem.
Like you can understand why he feels the way he does.
But that's the problem, is he's seen the worst, so he then pushes the worst, and he doesn't see the hopeful part of it. Like it.
Yeah.
And like that they've played with that more recently in comics, where he's now having to be the Professor X of the X-Men. And like he's seen more of that good side.
Okay.
Which is gonna be interesting when they decide to flip him again, which is gonna be very frustrating. And there's other, like Namor again. He's kind of like a villain. Like, he's not really a villain. He's a hero character, but he's had villain tendencies and moments like Magneto. That's the thing. I think Marvel has more sympathetic villains, so they tend to flip. Because you have characters
Okay.
like Doom, who is a villain, but like again, like with Magneto, like he at some point he thinks he's being altruistic, but it's also through all his control. And like I think the other problem is some of these villains that Marvel uses, they have like Red Skull is like a Nazi, so they really don't want to
Yeah.
play a lot of that. And they have other villains they could use. Like they have like a bunch of aliens like in groups, like the Skrulls and a bunch like but they don't use them that much. Or they have minor villains like the Absorbing Man, other characters, but they don't get used that much because they're kind of goofy.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have some of the heroes. Who's one of the more noticeable heroes? Like you got Superman, Batman,
Well, I mean, Justice League, right?
Justice
Have
League.
the main ones. Because I do like of course Batman's my favorite. Martian Manhunter I like.
Oh,
Flash was one of my favorites for a long time. But I've never really liked Superman. I mean, I did
Really?
kind of when I was a kid, but it's the more he just bores me for the most part. I don't like Superman that much. And I feel like a lot of the other ones, like Wonder Woman's cool, but and then you have Aquaman.
The problem with Wonder Woman is she's always the girl character.
Yeah,
She's never, whenever you try to give her own story, it has to be she's the girl character. She's the girl part of the Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
yeah,
Got the Flash.
The Flash.
yeah. The Flash,
he,
like I said,
he got a show. Green
yeah.
Arrow.
Green Arrow. The Green Lantern kind of universe is interesting too.
Oh, it's so nice.
Mhm.
I love their story. I love their stories. I don't think it ever work in movies or TV
Yeah,
because it goes so
yeah.
weird so quick.
Yeah, I could see that. But really, there's not a lot of like heavy hitters, and I'll admit, most of my experience is from movies and TV shows and not the comics. But when you think of like the Marvel heroes, I feel like there's a better variety because I love Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, have some interesting
Fantastic Four.
characters. Fantastic Four. I like Ant-Man. I mean, the movie portrayal of Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd's version of it. Of course, Spider-Man. Everybody loves Spider-Man. I do think Marvel has has more heroes that are better. I still think Batman's one of the best ones, but Marvel has a better variety, I think.
I think people like DC villains a lot or heroes a lot because they went weird with it. Like there's a lot of more indie characters at DC, or like more weird because they did like a British invasion during the 90s, so it was very much more philosophical. Like you got Swamp Thing,
Yeah.
John Constantine, like these more edgy 90s characters, not edgy 90s, but like more grounded, serious, and people seem to really like that. Like you had Netflix had a Sandman show,
Mhm.
which was very much like
Okay.
let's do this entity's like goes in people's dreams. So it's very much like that kind of vibe, which people seem to really like. And like it's more ethereal, and then you got the more high flying superhero characters at Marvel that are like up
Yeah.
here, gods among men,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have DC's the man among amongst gods. You got someone like Batman.
Well, Batman is the man amongst gods, but
Yes.
almost everybody else is.
There's that, yeah, is
But
high
I mean, you can
powered.
say the same for Ant-Man too.
Yes,
And Tony Stark.
Tony, yeah,
But then you have, I mean, like, uh, um, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy, Quill, sorry, Quill is man among gods. Although he ends up being like half god or whatever.
yeah,
So,
which was a movie thing, which works for the movies.
Yeah, I don't know about that in the comics, um, but otherwise, I mean, you've got Thor and all the Asgardians. You've got just a lot of big hitters, I think, and
Yeah,
well, then you have the mutants from X-Men. I don't know. That's kind of I wouldn't classify them quite like that.
yeah, and it depends on how you view their power scale because it's like
Yeah.
DC, sometimes they're more grounded characters, but like they can like flip something on a dime versus Marvel, something you got Iron Man who is just a dude in a suit
Yeah.
Yeah,
who's having to go up against Thor and like people like Thor and Hulk on a daily
like compete
basis.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it's kind of that argument. He's like, how powerful are those characters on the day? Also depends on the writers. Like, how powerful is Thor on a given day? Like, is he able to lift up a building, or is he like stronger than that? Or like Hulk? How strong is Hulk? Depends on the story.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and I think it also depends on your connection to the character. Like, Strange, you say you don't like Superman. Someone else, someone who might leave like, oh, Superman's one of the best characters, blah blah blah. Like it really
Well, he is
depends.
absolutely the strongest character out of either universe.
And that's hard to write sometimes when
yeah,
you have a character
Be-
that's really powerful.
because it
Overpowered.
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, absolutely overpowered. A lot of his story is about he is so overpowered, and it's him trying to restrain himself.
He has a great quote in Justice League. He's like, I live in a world made of cardboard, and it's one moment I can let loose.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a good story called "What's So Funny About Truth, Justice, the American Way." So it's him having to deal with how do you deal with these people that think they can go kill villains, but he has that ideal of no, I can't. We could rehabilitate them,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end he shows him why he doesn't kill someone. Like he pretends to go to that level, but it's all this big ruse. They made an animated movie. It's actually really good,
Oh.
and it shows how powerful Superman actually is, but how much he actually has to hold back. And it's not because he's afraid of people; it's because he's afraid of how far he will go and how people.
Yeah, he's
view
afraid
him.
of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's also a cartoon moment. He's like in a dream, and like he goes to save someone, and he like accidentally crushes them. But he's doing it like in his head. He's like, I know how much force to use, but when I do that, I'm like, I just break them with my arms. But it's all psychological because he's like, I'm just in a world where everything just breaks.
Yeah. And I don't know, to me that's so unrelatable.
Yeah.
Whereas Batman, I think, is a lot more relatable because he is human and he has a lot of challenges that he has to face. I don't know.
How much does he have to go to compete with?
To compete with them because he's also on a no-kill
Yes.
conscience when he could, but it's so all the psychological, and he's all about the rehabilitation. Like we need to, So
there's a good Superman quote. It's an Elseworld story, but he's like, someone mishears what he says about Batman. He's like, I pity Batman. So someone mishears as, oh, he looks down on Batman, but it's in reverse. It's Superman being like, he does this every day. He's like, he goes out and fights crazies every day. These killers, these monsters, and he can't turn it off.
Yeah, Batman's rogues gallery, I feel like, is the most varied, and most of them, they have psychological issues. They're not superhuman. They're
most
not.
of them don't have
There are
powers.
some. I mean, you talk about Clayface. You talk
Killer
about
Croc.
like there are some, but most of them they're just human, but they just have some psychological damage. I mean, Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, like they're all just, most of them are just human. They just have, like, they're messed up.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of psychological stuff, which makes it very interesting to me.
It's like Spider-Man's rogues gallery, kind of the same way. Most of them have powers, but they're crazy or they're wearing animal costumes. If you look at most of his Spider-Man's rogues gallery, and there's an Avengers story where they had to fight Spider-Man villains, and they just go, he does this every day, and he's been doing this since he's like 14.
Yeah.
So it's like this 14-year-old's going up against this guy with 8 arms or a Sandman. Like, how do you compete? Like, how does he? Why is he still doing this?
But I mean, Spider-Man does have some, like a couple, like just normal human villains.
Yeah.
But he has a lot more because you think of the Lizard, Venom.
They're all by accident.
Sandman.
A lot of them are accidents, like him, where they're made by
maybe
accident.
accidents, but they're still like,
they're
because Spider-Man, like in terms of strength and durability, is almost like the super. I would say Hulk is probably the strongest, but Spider-Man's up there as far as like one of the strongest, and really probably has to restrain himself a lot.
There is
because he has a lot of power.
They did a story where Doc Ock switches minds with him, and Doc Ock goes to punch Scorpion and knocks his jaw off, and he's like, oh, Spider-Man's holding back this much this whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm a regular guy, and he's been holding his punches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like this whole story, like Doc Ock had to learn responsibility, but by being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And has to learn how much he actually does to like save people. And it's actually a really cool story. And like it's one of those it's like Superman a lot of people compare Spider-Man to Batman, but he's more of like you were saying, to Superman, like ideal level and like their
Yeah.
stories, which is really fun. They just did a Superman Spider-Man crossover that came out like last week. They did two of them. Marvel
Oh,
did
wow.
one, DC did one, and it's very much all the stories are very much that, where both worlds get to see each character, and it's like they're really fun.
Nice.
But anyway, we've talked about for like 30 minutes about who's
About-
better,
yeah,
Marvel,
about that
DC.
one. So-
What's another topic we can discuss?
So now I threw out mine. Now that was just a random because I know I've heard that debate before, the pre-trib versus post-trib. But is there some other kind of theological topic that's piques your guys' interest?
Well, I mean, I'll actually go with what I talked about. Can eternal security? Can you lose your salvation once you become a Christian?
I've had this discussion with my brother. Now my brother's Baptist. We've had these arguments. So grow up Pentecostal, you kind of hear about people backsliding. There's a joke: you go to the back of the church in the back pew when you're backsliding. That's kind of I don't know if you've heard that joke.
I mean, maybe not, but I get why you say that though.
Yes, but that's kind of the joke. And my brother's like, well, you can. What did he say? I can't remember exactly what he said, but we were talking about baptism, and there's people that'll get baptized multiple times.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
At
Hey,
a
it's
certain-
docked right on time.
Hey, there we go.
Speaking of getting baptized multiple times. No, it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, Doc, we're talking about theological debates. You're just in time.
Oh yeah.
We're on the eternal security versus
Yes.
can you the backsliding? Can you backslide? That kind of.
Okay, backslide is in lose your salvation, or just backslide is
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to start before we get too into this on just stating which side we fall on all of this?
Yes, I think it should. Yeah.
Because I am for once saved, always saved. I don't think you can lose your salvation once you have it.
I believe you can.
I'm with Crad. I believe you can. I think at a certain point, that's a conversation we have with God once you backslide. That's something you have to come back to. I always go back to the prodigal son.
and I'm with the once saved. I'll
2v2. Here we go. Tag team. Ding ding ding. No, it's okay. No, it's okay. Okay. So I will open up the floor to either Kanaz or Doc. Why do you think why you believe? Respectfully.
Go ahead, Doc.
think the easiest verse. No one can pluck
Okay,
what
hold
has
on.
been given to me.
You're cutting in and out for me.
Okay,
I'll
it's
have to-
it's just it's you. You're hearing it too. Okay, I was about to say
Oh, yeah,
something.
you're cutting in and out. I'm only getting about every third word.
Any better?
That works.
Kind of.
Maybe?
Try again.
Good. Give me just a second.
Imagine us having technical difficulties
Yeah.
in the
It's
middle of
not
an important
me.
topic.
It's not me. I didn't do
Shut
this
up.
stuff.
Is that any better?
Yes.
There we go.
Try again.
All right. So the thing is, like the verse of none can pluck from the hand what the Father has given me. The main, I mean, that's if none can pluck, you,
Mhm.
the Almighty's hand, it'd be plucked.
Okay, you're back to
You
kind of.
be sick.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but you're kind
Yeah,
of back
no.
to every third word again.
The third word,
Yeah.
lovely
Okay.
headphones.
Romans 8, I think. Romans 8, for I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, nor height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord.
Speaking of Paul.
Yes. Yeah. Paul
I
said
can't
that
remember.
in Romans chapter 8.
Let's say during the Lord's Supper.
Let's see. Of course, this was, I mean, I'm Baptist. So the churches that I grew up in taught this, and I've heard the debate on both sides. And just in my own scripture readings and the verses that I read,
Hmm.
how I've come to interpret them based on the teachings from both sides shows me more that once you're with God, you don't lose that. Like you can have troubled times. You can have times where you're not as close to God because you are making bad choices or whatever, but God is always there and he can redeem you.
Hmm.
And he will come back if you like there's it's not a question of do you lose your salvation, it's how close are you to God in your journey once you've started that journey and how much um interaction, but you never lose it. And for those who claim to have followed God and then fall away, there's actually an interesting story of the guy who wrote "Come Thou Fount," actually fell away from the faith, but and then also a guy that was with famous evangelist. Why am I blanking on his name? The biggest evangelist. What's his name?
Billy
Billy
Graham.
Graham.
Billy Graham. There was a guy that was with Billy Graham like when he started, and then he eventually denounced the faith after that. Even though he started the whole movement with Billy Graham, he eventually
Hmm.
denounced the faith. And I hear those stories, and it just makes me question like what their faith was to begin with.
Hmm.
Was it, as I've heard the term, like fire insurance? Was it just I'm just doing this just to be safe, or was it like an actually truly like, did you even believe in the first place?
Hmm.
Or was it just like maybe an intellectual, but it wasn't in your heart, and then you just learned different things and fell away. So or were you just like raised in, a Christian home, and then you thought you were saved, and then but it turns out you really weren't. So, but in several of the verses that I've read, it's just the conclusion that I came to, and I'm trying to look for specific verses to make sure I don't quote something out of context. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I understand. Okay. From my side, somebody actually pointed out something to me the other day that even though I believed the way I believed in for a long time, based off what I was taught, and I think Nathaniel has a similar background in the Church of God as I did.
Mhm.
So obviously we share a lot of similar beliefs. But somebody pointed something the other day, and I thought, well, that's an interesting argument for that. And you may hear random toys and stuff in the background. The cats are running around like
Dang
maniacs.
cats.
Yeah. Or things crashing, it's hard to tell. But if you look at the story of Lucifer, he was about as close to God as you can get. And yet he fell to temptation as well as taking a third of the angels with him. And if somebody is that close to God, who's been in the very presence of God, gets to the idea where he's greater than or is equal to God, and he's had all that responsibility and all that power, why can't someone like myself, you know, have the opportunity to do the same thing, to walk away from a faith that I've known for a long time and professed and believed in? If somebody in that position can have that authority and deceive a third of the angels to go with him, it's almost like, well, if that can happen to him, then it can definitely happen to me. If I don't, grow my faith, progress in my faith, and renew my walk with him every day. Now, do I believe that if I sin, do I have an advocate with the Father? Yes. It talks about in the Bible, His grace is made new every morning. His grace is sufficient. But I do think if you don't have that free will to continue to grow in your faith and to go to and to go toward Him instead of if you don't have an opportunity to walk away, you don't really have basically like if you don't have that polar opposite of the good, and if there's not still an opportunity to do evil, then and have an opportunity to lose your faith, then it's kind of just you have the argument we just do whatever you want to, you're still good. That's not the case. Obviously, I don't think y'all believe that. I don't think it's one of those things where, hey, once I got saved, I can do anything I want to, and I'm going
Oh no,
I
not at
think
all.
that's where
No.
y'all are coming from at all.
No.
Which unfortunately there are some people that are like that, frankly.
Yes.
And there are.
And that's
You call
not
that
correct.
antinomianism.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
and Paul preached against that in, I think it was Romans as well.
yeah, and I
So,
believe he even
yeah.
called himself at one point the chief of all sinners.
Yes.
Yes.
And he talked about, that I'm sure there were some things that Paul did and made decisions even after he became Paul, from Saul and had that Damascus Road experience that were a little abrasive to some people that they thought may have been sin. Because another place in the Bible talks about there are certain things that you feel that you have liberty in that your brother might not have liberty in. And if you cause him to sin, or if you cause him to stumble, then you have in fact sinned. So there's that whole, well, what is sin? What level is there sin? So it's a very delicate argument, but that's one thing that really brought to me is, well, if Lucifer being so close to God, being the chief worshiper, right there with him, leading these choirs, leading this worship of God, if he can fall, then why can't I?
I would argue then, if that's the case, why can he not gain it back? If you can
Well,
go
because
back and forth, why would he
right.
not be able to gain that back?
Well,
If
because
we can.
he created, well, he did the ultimate sin. He can paired himself to God to
Okay, but
basically.
what about any of his fault? So I mean, this is once again, advocate.
No,
So
I'm not
Yeah.
mad, not angry. You're not mad,
Yeah.
not angry. We're just
yeah.
talking. I know.
Because I would say the case was kind of flipped for me when it comes to humans versus angels, because angels had the connection at the beginning,
Mhm.
and then they lost it, and there was no chance of redemption. Whereas humans, except for Adam and Eve, were born into sin.
Right,
So we were cut off from the beginning, and now we have a chance to gain it back.
right.
And I mean, you could look at that as a flip, and this isn't necessarily scriptural. This is just like, as this conversation is going on, this is
Mhm.
just kind of popping into my head. But whereas the angels had it and then lost it, and that was their only chance, we didn't have it, and now we can gain it, and that's our only chance.
Mhm.
And
That's what
once
you're
we
saying.
have it, we have it. And once they lost it, they lost it. So I don't know.
Right.
It's kind of that's just kind of a weird dichotomy that just popped into my head that,
No, I see what you're saying.
yeah.
Like you said, it could be seen as a flip.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I would say that with the angels, they with a third of the angels, they set themselves to follow essentially a false god,
Hmm.
and Lucifer became their god because he compared himself to God. Um, Whereas, like you said, we were born into a sinful nature. I think we all can agree on that, no matter what. We were all born into
Yeah.
a sinful nature because of the fall of Adam and Eve and the seat that Lucifer wrought back then. Which, by the way, I always get a kick out of people when they automatically assume the fruit that she had was an apple. It doesn't say that in the Bible.
No, never.
my high school
Doesn't say.
teacher always said it was a pineapple.
I mean, it could have been a pineapple, could have been a pear, could have been an orange. We
I heard
don't know.
someone say it was a
Awesome.
pomegranate, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Pomegranate,
I've heard traditionally
whatever.
it's actually traditionally it was done as a fig.
A fig.
Could have been a
Yeah.
fig.
But that's why they
makes-
use fig leaves, because that was
Yeah.
the
That would make sense.
I mean,
That's the
that
Jewish
is an interesting
tradition.
theory, by the way. That's like a whole nother, it's a whole nother
Yeah, it's a
discussion.
whole another discussion.
Yeah,
But
that goes to Jewish tradition, not I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. But point being, I agree with you there. We all came differently. We all came with a sinful nature and had the opportunity to be redeemed.
Hmm.
But I mean, it also talks about in Revelation, if possible, even God's very elect will be deceived. So if they're deceived in that moment, how are they deceived? How far does that deceivement go? And does that ultimately cause them to make bad decisions that separate them from God? So there's a lot back and forth there.
I would think you can be deceived,
Mhm.
and you make a mistake. Like everybody makes
Oh, yeah.
mistakes. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean you lose your salvation, though.
Right.
I mean,
And that would mean that your salvation is predicated on something you did.
yeah.
I can see where you're coming from that as well.
You
But-
got to think.
Well, I was gonna say, is your salvation not originally predicated on something you did?
Not really. I mean, Jesus did everything. You just have to
Right.
accept it.
Well, that's the decision.
But it also says, I was, because he first loved me, and I'm gonna mess this. I don't have a word for it. I'm gonna mess this verse up. Doc, do you know what I'm talking about? See,
I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember the verse top of my head.
yeah.
I was like the verses that
He
I
loves
was looking
because he
at.
first loved us, essentially. we love because
Yeah.
he first loved us. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was
we
looking
we wouldn't have even approached him if
Right.
if his spirit hadn't come to us first.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So in a way, that's kind of yes. I mean, yes, we do have like this is where it's like it gets kind of touchy and weird because yes,
The
we have free will.
nuances. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
nuances because yes, we were given free will. Yes, yeah. Because then you get into the doctrine of election too, and
hmm
it's a
Yeah,
whole
that
nother
that gets
topic.
That's a
weird.
whole nother, yeah, can of worms.
But because then if we anyway, there's a whole
That
nother
does,
thing.
I mean, that does play into it a little bit, the doctrine of election. We can't get
Yeah.
away with
So, but
away
then
from
I mean,
that.
if you, which I do believe in election, if you've been elected, then you're going to be saved, and then once again, you're not going to lose the salvation because you're already elected. So
Yeah.
it's combining the two things, but that's yeah, they work together and
Nathaniel,
in
I've
my
noticed you've
beliefs.
been really quiet on this. You
Oh no,
haven't
you're
said
good. Sometimes,
much.
sometimes I just let people go start talking, so I talk a
Yeah.
little bit
I was gonna
before
say I don't
done.
want just me and
Oh no,
Strange
you're
there
no,
just
you're
kind of
good.
lead the conversation because
No,
we've
you're
been kind of
good.
been going back and forth with each
Um,
other a little bit.
no, you're good. I always go back to you're talking about being deceived. Not that Peter was deceived, but he denied Christ. But
He
Peter,
wasn't technically saved yet, though, I would
yeah,
say.
yes, but he built everything with Peter afterwards,
Yes. Yeah.
and Peter felt bad for what he did afterwards. So that's predicated on him being saved after that and being sorry for what he did. I I think there's a couple stuff we've brought up where it's like we're not going to go the full answer till we get to heaven
Yes.
because the multiple people because Pentecostals believe one way, Baptists believe another. About like I had this again had this go to my brother. How can you get baptized multiple times? Is it? Cause I'm trying in my mind. I'm trying to think where I've read where someone's been baptized multiple times. Like I'm
You
trying.
okay. I if you want to get into baptism as a Baptist, um it depends on what you think
Under the title.
baptism
Yes.
is and what it signifies.
Yes.
Because I would say you can get baptized multiple times because baptism is nothing more than just a statement of I am a Christian. It has nothing to do with your salvation. It has nothing to do with you being saved or earning a salvation. It is saying, "Hey, I'm saved, and I want everyone to know." And that's
So
how
it's
I
like
see baptism. And you can do that as many times as you want, ultimately.
Right.
Ironically, I think we
it's
might all agree on that. That's for
yeah,
the
a
most
public
part.
statement of an inward
Inward faith.
Yeah,
showing.
And I
Yeah.
think there's some people that get that confused.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Where
because people think you have to be baptized to be saved, and you
yes,
don't.
I
There
I
are some people that do. Yeah. I
I
agree with
think
you.
there's been a couple people where I know I don't think they've been baptized, but that's again that's your own decision. That's
Yeah.
something you feel like you need to do. But I think there's some people that I've known that have fallen away and have not come back. Does God still love them? Yes.
Yes.
But when you make that choice, when you walk away, whatever your reasoning was, whether it's something in the church that you didn't like, something happened to you, you have to have God wants you to have your personal choice to come back.
Yeah.
He would want you to come back willingly. That's why we were given free will. We are given the choice to love him in our own way naturally versus being told we have to love him. I think that's something that people confuse because there's people that are shown in church. Here's what the church is. Here you're gonna be in church, and they aren't shown other ways to love Christ outside of church.
In that in that case, so did they truly have a faith, or did they just have what their parents told them?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I know people in my own family who grew up in church, and at a certain point, they're like, "No, I'm done,"
Yeah.
because they're all they were shown was church,
They weren't
and they
true
were
shown true faith.
yes. And
And
I
yeah.
have a family member. Not saying that my family tried showing them love outside of church. It's just they had a lot of stuff they didn't agree with the church, so they left, and now they're out in the world. We still love them. We
Yeah.
love them to come back, but that's their personal choice.
I
Yeah.
would I'd say like there are those people who are churchy
Mhm.
and not saved. And if they leave, it brings to question to me, like, were they ever saved in the first place? Because like there's the passage in the Bible where, people will come to me and say, "Oh, look what I did for you, and I saved these people, and I did this, and I, spread your name around." And then Jesus said, "Be gone from me.
Depart from me,
I've
never
never
knew
known
you.
you."
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes you wonder, like, once again, like, what was behind it? Were they really saved in the first place? Like, was there a relationship, or was it a to-do list?
Yeah. Or are they doing it for clout or for
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything
Like you
like
see
that?
in Acts, was it Simon the sorcerer, where he
Oh yeah.
he
Yeah.
he got saved, or I'll say he got saved.
Hmm.
He was in the church. He sees them putting on the Holy Spirit. He goes, "Hey, I can do good. Let me do this. Let me make some money off. We can make some
I was gonna
money
say, I
off of
think he was
this."
trying to basically buy the power to
Yeah,
do that.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
obviously was not the whole reason, the purpose for that at all.
right. And so then he said, you never hear anything from him again after
Right.
that. After he's rebuked and told to go away, you have too much bitterness in your heart and stuff. So,
Here's what I
but
love about this argument. Either way, at the end of the day, if we all right here make it to heaven, we're not gonna care.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
That's the
We're
fun.
we're not going to care at that point.
No.
I mean, we might, just for fun, be like, "Hey, Jesus, so who was right in that whole,
Right.
debate?" But but yes, I mean, I could see where you can almost go into a grace versus works salvation there as well.
Hmm.
Um, which I think they really work hand in hand in a way. Obviously,
They do.
you
yeah.
cannot do enough good to be saved. You can't.
Correct. Yeah.
You
It's
cannot go feed the poor 1,000 times and that's going to buy your ticket to heaven. Or, you can't, give away all you possess and that's automatically going to get you a get out of hell free card. But, it's one one thing that we've been studying a lot lately is the book of James, really powerful book. Um,
yeah,
only 5 chapters long, but
Yeah.
contains a lot of just rich resource material. And one of the things that he talks about very prominently throughout the book is the use of faith. And he talks about, faith without works is dead. And I can show you your faith by your works.
Hmm.
So, there's that theme of, grace versus works or grace with works, which I think, like I said, it takes both. Grace obviously comes from the Father to us, works being
yeah.
we accept that gift that has been given to us by the Father through Jesus Christ for the remission of our sin.
With
So,
I was like bringing up James, like with the faith plus works. I was like, works. Like you could say Paul used works also in the thing, but instead of using the word works, he used fruit.
Yeah.
mm,
Because the works, it's the motive behind the works. If you're doing the
It's
works to try to get with God or to be saved, then that's worthless. That's
right,
like with the whole like in Philippians where it's I have like great pedigree and thing and it's all filthy rags. But if you're doing the works out of the faith, that's the fruit. It's the fruit. It's not you're not doing the works to make the faith. You're doing the works because of the faith.
yes.
right.
Right.
Because of this faith, this thing you put your life to,
Yeah.
it reflects who you are,
Yeah.
Right.
And like you said, it's a lot more than just, my opinion, it's a lot more than just saying a prayer one time. A lot of things, you have people that while saying a prayer and accepting Jesus is important, I think it's a transformational work in your life that other people can see. And that's what it talks about the fruits of the Spirit, uh, the Beatitudes, things like that. It becomes evident not only to other people, but to yourself
Hmm.
that there has been a legitimate change taking place. Like even today, I get really amused sometimes when, we see these big Hollywood people. I mean, perfect case in point, Kanye. Oh my
or
goodness.
the more topical one, Russell Brand. Did you see the video
Well,
of him?
I was
No.
going to say those are kind of polar opposites for me a little bit because
Mm.
Kanye when he first looked like he had gotten saved and I was making this cool Christian, if you will, album, Jesus Walks and all this stuff, and now he's gone absolutely off the flipping deep end. But
Yeah.
but then you have other celebrities and stuff and people whose lives are out in public that you can actually start to see take real shape. And like right now, for instance, another one that's really topical is Theo Vaughn.
Mm.
He's been doing some interesting things lately, questioning some things in his life. Not saying he's saved yet. I don't know. I don't know the condition of his heart. Only God
Right.
does. But you can kind of see somebody's planted something in there that's starting to make him question, hey, there's something more to this thing than just, fans and fame and my podcast and, celebrity. Something inside of him is yearning for something deeper in his life. And it's kind of exciting to see things like that. So, and be a part of that story where they walk it out in a lot more public way than you and I do in private, obviously. But that's neither here nor there. That's not really on the topic, but just I thought just brought it up.
But funny enough, my pastor was talking on some of this Wednesday,
Hmm.
and he was talking. There's gonna be Christians who open up their Bible every once in a while. Might open it
Hmm.
once a week, or they might open it like they have a good stretch where they're reading it, but then they stop. They do the stop and start. Or there's some Christians they just go to church on Sundays and Wednesdays, and that's they don't think about it afterwards. They don't open the
Hmm.
Bibles like that's their only time.
Hmm.
And will those people get to heaven? Like it depends on the condition in your heart, and it depends on your walk and how you and God have that discussion. Now,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get taught you need to read every day. You need like you get told like you got to read and pray every day and everything. And I've had this discussion with a young adult group. One of the ladies, she's like, in the morning, like what do you do when you work out 4 in the morning? Are you getting up at 5 and you're reading for 20 minutes, but you're only reading for 20 minutes a day? Or maybe you read a little bit that day and maybe a little you read more that night. It's like because nowhere in the Bible it says you need to X amount you need to read. It doesn't say you need to
Right.
read an hour a day. I think that's something that you need to talk to God about. Like, where should I read? What like how long should I read? Now, if you're taking 10 minutes, I think you could do a little more than just 10 minutes. But I like in the like
It's
what are you gonna say?
I was like, yeah, that's a personal conviction thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
People should be doing,
Yes.
and some people find it harder to do. The enemy works against us, and we work against ourselves. And the
Oh
enemy
yeah.
being, I think there's all three parts of the enemy are the enemy as in Satan and the spiritual done ourselves, our body, our flesh that doesn't want to get up.
Hmm.
It's like body, mind, and spirit. Everything is working against us because it's as Paul says, when will I get rid of this body of death?
Hmm.
Yeah. Like for me, when in the morning I get up at 4 in the morning for work. So it's like how
Bless
much
you.
yeah, I know. How much time like do I want to spend in the morning? I try to at least read a chapter in the morning. I might listen to something and I'll read more at night. Where I have more time where I could have more quiet time. I can have time to think about it. Like I think about what I read that morning, but like I have more time at night where I could meditate on. I could really I don't have to worry about a time crunch of like how much do I want to read. Like I might read a little more. I might reread what I read and read a couple more after that. But again, that's your own personal decision, your own personal walk, and your dedication, like what Doc was saying, in your own uh, discernment or not discernment. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, I
Your
Devotion.
own
huh?
Devotion.
Devotion.
conviction.
Yeah, conviction. That's the word I was looking
Thanks.
for. I was getting one word confused for the other. Um, is there any more topics we want to talk about besides like, we've gone on
So real quick, I want to add
extensively with
something.
yes,
That's all right. So obviously I think we all in the room here agree that eventually one day we will all stand before God,
yes,
one way or the other.
Hmm.
So one of my favorite lines, I actually said this to somebody today. I said it always kind of amuses me when I hear somebody say something to the effect, well, only God can judge me. Like that should worry you.
Of all people, that should like
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you think it's bad if you feel judgment from me or somebody else, but if he's saying only God can judge me, God, the perfect Father, Creator, yeah, that should bother you a little bit because he has a lot higher standards than anybody else on this
Oh
world.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, that's so total side note. Anyway,
oh
go
no, you're
ahead, side.
good. No, I was good. Do we want picked like the two most long-winded topics to do? So I don't know if we want to do another one like this at some point, or do we want to talk about anything else? Do you want to do any other topics?
Um, I don't know. I was gonna say the verses that I mentioned earlier was from the high priest's prayer, where it says, just this is going back to the first part
Hmm.
when my phone had the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Ah,
Uh, but in John 17, when he's praying over the disciples and everything, I have manifested your name to the people whom you gave me out of the world. Yours they were, and you gave them to me, and they kept your word. Now they know that everything that you have given me is from you, for I have given them the words that you gave me, and they have received them and have come to know in truth that I came from you, and they have believed that you sent me. I am praying for them, and I am not praying for the world, but for those who you have given to me, for they are yours. All mine are yours, and yours are mine, and I am glorified in them. And I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, keep them in your name, which you have given me, that they may be one, even as we are one. While I was with them, I kept them in your name, which you have given me. I have guarded them, and not one of them has been lost, except the son of destruction, that the scripture may be fulfilled. Um, that was really good, where it stops. I mean, it keeps going. But I've given them your word, and the world hated them because of that. They're not of the world, just as I am not of the world. I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. For they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them in truth, and your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world, and for their sake I consecrate myself, and they also may be sanctified in truth. I do not ask for these only, but also for those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one, just as you, the Father, are in me, and I in you, and they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Yeah, it does keep going, but that's where it says like it's like God, the Lord gave. That kind of goes into the election part, as if
Mhm.
there's only one that was lost, was the son of destruction already, filling
Obviously
scripture.
referring to Judas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That was just like
Amen.
I just wanted to go back, and this is
no,
like
you're good.
since I got wasn't trying to just rehash from the
No,
No,
no, I
you're
get what
wrong.
you're
good.
saying. You were trying to clean up earlier. I don't know what
Yeah,
in the world was going on with your mic when you first joined.
It's the AirPod mics don't for some reason they act up, so I just clicked it over to the
dang it,
where
Apple.
I'm listening to the through the AirPods, but I'm speaking
Yeah,
into the computer.
that
Dang
made a
it,
big
dang it,
difference.
Apple.
Yeah. So there you go.
It's
There's a
all Apple.
topic. Apple versus Android. Go ahead and go. No, just kidding.
Android.
Yeah, I was Android, and then I got Apple, and I there's a lot of stuff I prefer on Android, like file formatting and able to get files off your phone.
Mm.
Because Apple, whenever you do it, it's not organized. It's just in random files.
Hmm.
So good luck trying to pull something off your phone if you need it. Um,
So
Also, Samsung had better music formatting and everything
real
too.
quick, my buddy, the Pastor Painter, which of course we've all interviewed here.
Yes.
Uh, I am in charge of mixing his audio mixes for his paintings. Now I am anyway, and so I had to do a couple more for a painting he's going to do this coming weekend.
Big painting
And let
for
me
y'all
tell
too.
you, it is a pain in the rear trying to sync files from a PC to an iPad.
Oh
It
yeah,
is a
no,
Oh yeah.
it's
pain. So
Yep.
Yeah.
they're not very happy when they talk to each other. It took me, I'd forgotten how I did it because I hadn't done it in a while, and it probably took me almost a day trying to figure out how to get the
uh
stupid thing to sync. Well, I finally did, but I'm like, come on, you had to download this app and you had to do this and connect this. I'm like, come on, guys, it's so freaking stupid.
Yeah. Apple is way too exclusive.
Yeah.
The security, you could go either way on this, whether it's positive or negative, but in my experiences, the security is just way too much. It's so hard to get into anything, and if you lose your Apple ID password or
Oh,
whatever, you
good
can't
luck.
even reset. Because I have an iPad, and I've dealt with at a couple jobs ago. I was kind of the not the real IT guy, but the guy people would talk to because our IT guy was in another state.
He's the Timu
So
IT guy.
and so we mostly had PCs, but there were a few people that were loved their Apples, and I hated working on their stuff because it was such a pain. And then we got a bunch of iPads, and trying to get them all set up for a business is it was such a pain. Where if we could have just got a bunch of tablets, it would have been so much easier. I understand a little bit the appeal, and but when you get an Apple, everything you do has to be Apple. Otherwise, it's an absolute pain in the rear end to do anything else.
Yeah, no.
Hmm.
Well, have you guys heard what's going on with the new iPhones? The batteries, they're finding like if they die, they just won't turn on. If you lose charge, it takes someone time. It took them 3 days for the phone to charge back up.
Jeez.
Like it's something going on with the batteries for the new iPhones. So someone says they had to have it keep plugging it into it 100%.
That hurts my
Using
heart.
it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like especially if it's a new iPhone. It's not like it's an
They're gonna work.
older iPhone.
Yeah. There's things that work the glitches out. There's
Oh
also
yeah.
people that will say stuff, and the internet's great for giving great information on
Oh
everything.
yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, everything's true. Everything's
Exactly.
real.
It's not like it was what Samsung was the one where people were reporting they were exploding, but I don't know how big of a case that was, or it was just like a select like number of them. But everyone was making it sound like this certain Samsung, every phone was exploding. And
Mm.
I'm like, I feel like that would have been more in the news if every whatever Samsung it was would be exploding.
That's all phones. The battery after time expands and
Yeah, it,
blows
it
up.
can.
That's
Yeah.
Oh
all
no,
phones.
the how they were talking.
I know
it
what
was
you're
like
talking about.
Yeah, it was
I
a more
remember what
recent
you're talking.
one. But yes, phone batteries do
It's
expand.
like
Mhm.
that's all phones though.
Yes.
I remember one phone I had to get a new phone because it finally expanded. Like I was holding it out until however long, and it finally
Nice.
expanded too much to where it messed up something on the screen and I
It
couldn't do
pressed
it.
something, and yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, it's time to get a new one.
It also depends on your like style preference. Like I for a while always liked Samsung because I liked how not that it was a brick, but I liked that it had heft versus holding an Apple where I felt like there was nothing there at a certain point.
Yeah.
You see, you're too young to have had the actual bricks.
Yes, yeah, the Nokias, the
No,
Well, let's see. I
Kia
started with
Ceera,
track
Kia
phone,
Ceera.
Number of those. Yeah.
and I think my first smartphone was an LG. But I eventually I have Google Pixel now, and I like my Pixel. I've had two Pixels. This is my second Pixel. So
I got an iPhone. I don't remember which iPhone it is, but it's worked fine for me. I had Androids for a while, and I just got fed up because I was like every year I was replacing it because I was buying. Well, to be fair, I was buying used Samsung,
yeah,
but it was just a constant problem, and they weren't like old ones. Like they're like a couple models behind, and like
that's usually what I do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just
So
yeah.
here's your stupid dad joke for the evening. For some reason, it triggered me when you said you had a Pixel phone. So you've had two Pixels. Wow, that's really low screen resolution. You might want to get
Yeah.
that checked.
There you go.
Well, yeah.
So I had a couple food ones on there. I said Coke versus Pepsi.
Pepsi.
So
Unless it's vanilla, then it's Coke.
Coke versus Pepsi, Doc. We're not talking about Dr. Pepper.
I don't know, man. That orange cream Coke's pretty good.
So for a while, I was always
Well,
the Pepsi
I'd argue
kid.
Mountain Dew, but anyway.
Yes, I was always the Pepsi
Well,
guy.
that's a Pepsi product, so
Yeah, I didn't like Coke. I didn't like the taste. I didn't like the taste of it. I didn't like the film it left in my teeth.
Yeah.
But when I started working at Subway, all they had was Coke. They didn't have Pepsi products. So it was always Coke. So I got used to Coke. And I had a Pepsi the other day, and I'm like, this doesn't taste great. I just remember it being like it just like I flip.
Yeah. If it's the plain, just regular Pepsi versus regular Coke, I go Pepsi. But Pepsi had a vanilla version for a while. I don't think they do anymore because I haven't seen it in a
I think
long
it's in
time.
select markets. Like I
But
see
vanilla
it in
Coke is definitely
advertisements.
better than vanilla Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like I will admit to that. But when it comes to just the plain, I'd rather have a Pepsi.
Anybody remember the Holiday Spice Pepsi?
Yes.
It was good, man. I
They had
like
a, they had
that.
a they
I
had,
don't think
they
I
had a
tried that
they had a salted caramel one that was actually pretty good.
Ooh.
That I don't remember.
If I have to choose between the two, probably go with Coke. But I prefer the Mexican Coke and the glass bottles.
Yes, where it's made with actual cane sugar and not
Yeah.
whatever else they use. In
Well, they
Coke.
did that
Not
with
the other-
Pepsi for a while too,
Yeah.
Yeah. But they
and Mountain Dew.
Apparently they're making naked Mountain Dew. It's kind of like these.
What?
It's kind of like these naked Cheetos that I have.
Yeah.
Where they get rid of
Oh,
all the.
so
It's naked of
all
all
the
dyes.
coloring.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it just looks
But
like
this, is it really Mountain Dew if it doesn't have the bright color?
exactly. I don't. But
If
it's
it
in
doesn't have the
can.
radioactive color.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
nuclear
The yellow
nuclear
five
waste.
is trying to kill you.
You might
Yeah,
as well just be drinking straight sugar,
exactly.
drinking Mountain Dew.
And caffeine, apparently. I found that out recently. Mountain Dew is the highest caffeine of all the regular sodas.
Really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
By a lot.
Yeah.
where is it?
It's
I
been like
had
that for a
a.
while, yeah.
I found a protein soda. I thought it was regular soda. I looked up what caffeine. It was 200 milligrams of caffeine. I'm like, this isn't soda at this point. That's
Some sort of energy drink.
yeah, but it's
Bro,
protein. But it,
sorry,
it's
So
in
that's
what's
same
that?
as Alani.
it was in the soda aisle, so that's what threw me off. I wasn't thinking about it.
I one
Yeah,
time
too.
drank so many Mountain Dew voltages in one day, I thought I was having a heart attack. Like, no
Ooh.
cap. Like, it was
I,
bad. I did, like, that was back in the day when I did not read labels, like when I was
Yeah,
a teenager.
Oh,
yeah,
I was,
you
I
don't
think I was
care.
21. I was 21 and I was moving
Voltage.
into my dorm room at college.
Where
And
you're
I
just
just
downing
was
them.
slamming back Mountain Dew voltage, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was like, this is
That's the blue
ridiculous.
one, right?
I work in kids camp.
Yeah,
They
that's like
don't.
the blue purple one.
Oh, when you work kids camp, they don't tell kids no, you can't have more than one. I saw a kid have like an armful of them, like 8. I was like, oh no. I saw him open 2 and was like drinking them like this. I'm like, okay, you're done. You're cut off with 2.
That's going to be a bad day right there.
I was like, you're cut off. You're not even my cabin. I'm still cutting you off.
We have
Yeah,
a
kids got a
commenter, by the
drinking
way. He
problem.
commented a while ago. Hi, Diegos.
Oh, do we have a comment? I don't
Yeah.
have the. Was it on
We
YouTube?
got a comment.
Was it on YouTube? I didn't. have it
YouTube,
pulled
yeah.
up.
YouTube.
You know, we're live at the moment. Just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is tough.
I think that was like right after you brought up, I think, Coke versus Pepsi. So
There.
Yeah, because there was nothing on there earlier.
This
I
is
checked.
tough.
Tough to what, Diego? Which one is it?
Are you talking about pizza? Because there are some tough pizzas out there. That's
Exactly.
for sure.
The other one was McDonald's versus Burger King.
Burger King.
Okay.
Unless it's fries, then it's McDonald's. And the McChicken.
I don't know.
I used
Fries
to
and McChicken, McDonald's wins. Burger King.
I
everything
used to be Burger King all the way because I like their fries. But the Burger Kings around here are really bad, so I say McDonald's.
else. I'll go for that. Like
So-
service wise,
No, it's not service wise. It's just the
No.
quality of the food.
Or quality of the food.
Whatever they do, and then I go other places.
The
And
only-
the Burger King's better. I don't know what it is. Just the ones around here are bad.
The only thing that McDonald's is good for is the McGriddle and the
and
fries.
McGriddle.
Yes.
McGriddle,
The
the
nuggets.
fries, and the McChicken.
Their nuggets are. It depends on when you go. They're fine. Burger King used to have
But-
really good nuggets. They also used to have Surge. So
Surge.
they got rid of it, unfortunately.
Well, Burger King had the better fries like a long time ago, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
changed
Yeah.
the way they did them, and then now
Yeah.
I'm
They're too. They're
don't
too,
like their
they're too
fries
soft.
anymore.
They're not crunchy enough.
they're thicker, and they don't get crispy crunchy enough. So McDonald's has better fries now.
Oh,
I'll admit that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wendy's fries with a frosty.
Yes. Hey, at least Wendy's.
McDonald's fries with frosting.
Well, the McFlurry machine has to work there.
That's
Yeah.
that frosting. So I'm saying
It doesn't
go
even have
Wendy's
to be
and
frosty. It
McDonald's.
could just be their ice cream cone.
Oh, it's when it works, you know. What you think it's like a joke at one place? No, that's like multiple places for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's
what it
because
is.
of the they don't want to pay the extra money for the people that do the parts because they get
By the
somebody
way-
in contract with them.
As somebody who has broken down a frosty machine, that's an interesting thing. Just saying. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Mixed
Really?
the frosties.
It's a big spindle.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Just a chiller and a spindle. That's about it.
exactly. But no, we don't want to pay people extra to fix it. Nope. For
Mm.
whatever reason. I
Yeah.
so stupid. What was my other one?
Okay, one more debate.
Yes.
To drink or not to drink alcohol as a Christian?
So I say no. I have people that I've known that think it's okay. And I had to ask them why, and they're like, "Well, I like it." That was their only. That was their only argument, is that I like it. They didn't back it up at all
No,
at anywhere
I
in the
need a
Bible.
break.
I'm like, oh, so
Y'all stay
you're
in
just
there. You're
like this
cozy.
thing versus actual theological reasons why a Christian shouldn't drink.
What was Jesus's first public miracle?
Yes, it was turning water into wine.
The
Or,
best wine they had all night.
Yes, yeah. So, but I personally don't drink because I got family members that drink, and it's been a problem for them. That's why
Oh, I get that. I get that.
So whenever I have this discussion, I always say I personally don't do it for X reason.
Yes.
Well, that kind of goes back to what I talked about with Paul saying
Mhm.
everything is permissible, but not everything is wise. Pretty
Yes.
much, like
So
you don't do everything in front of everybody. Actually, I have changed my view on this one over the years. My most famous example for this happened to me personally, was I happened to be very hardcore. You don't drink, basically, for a long time. And then we had somebody that came to our church, a very anointed young lady, led worship beautifully. I mean, Holy Spirit fell down, just beautiful, great, wonderful things. And so one day I was out in the store and I ran into her and her husband, and I happened to look down in her cart and I saw some alcoholic beverages. Nothing like really hardcore or anything, but just something I knew had alcohol in it. And I didn't say anything to her or her husband about it, but immediately in my heart started judging her. Like I could tell a turn took place within me. And I held on to that for a while until God Himself convicted me of it and said, listen, as it talks about in the Bible, there's a way if you have something against a fellow believer, a brother and sister of Christ, this is how you handle it. And the first step is you go to that person and you say, hey, I've got an alt against you. It says an alt in the Bible. Basically, I have an issue with you. Something is going on. We need to rectify and talk about. And I had to do that. I messaged this person on Facebook, as I recall, and I'm like, hey, you have no idea. This is an issue. I explained to them this, and I said, I felt convicted. God convicted me of this, and I feel like I need to apologize to you. And let me tell you, when you handle what's beautiful about God and about true Christian people is if you handle it the right way, generally it goes very well because this person actually respected me more because I came to them as I did and said, hey, I'm sorry, for the way I'm not trying to point to me in the story. My point being is God convicted me over that specific issue, kind of like talking about what they do in the privacy of their own home if they do not feel it's a sin. Now, I do think you can drink to excess where it is sinful,
Yes.
where you get slapped
Yeah.
drunk. And some people are more given to that. They
Mhm.
have addictive personalities, and whether it's drinking or drugs or whatever, it can get to the point where it's either very hard something for them to overcome. And kind of like he said, he has somebody in his family that might be affected by that. So I can understand that. But as far as like if you want to do that in the privacy of your own home, I've come to the point where that's not up for me to make that decision for you. Whether I do it or not, that's up between you and God, basically.
Yeah.
So,
I do believe drinking is okay. And I do believe like some people will say, oh, it wasn't real wine or whatever that Jesus turned, from the water that Jesus did in that miracle. And I would argue
Read it
that it
Baptist
is,
show.
that it was, because like just in the context of everything, if you look at it, it was actually alcoholic. And they because in the story it mentions like this is like people normally, use the the worst tasting wine at the end, and you have like the best tasting. You saved it for the end. It's weird. And then I also think like at the Last Supper, you know, that could very likely have been wine as well. But
By the
it's
way, sorry, go ahead. Finish off.
but it's don't get drunk. Don't drink in
Right.
excess. Drink in moderation. Don't if you and then to Nate's point, if if the drinking if you have that kind of addictive personality and the drinking is going to lead you to getting drunk, then don't do it. Like you can put limits on yourself. I had a youth pastor back in the day, and he said you can drink, and I had I have full reign to drink, but as a youth pastor, I choose not to because I'm going to set the example, and I don't want to set a bad example. Say it's okay, and then have one of the youth think, oh, it's okay, and then they end up getting drunk and doing something stupid. So he was setting the example for someone, and it goes to that verse of, if you can do anything, but if what you're
weaker
going to
brother.
do is going to cause someone else to stumble, then you probably shouldn't do it, right? So,
So
We'll go back to Romans with the weaker
yeah.
brother.
two things there, real quick. I'll point out one funny thing. So you're giving the example of how basically the master of ceremonies or the master of that thing said, "Hey, you waited till the very end to bring out the best." So I thought if it didn't say that Jesus had turned water into wine, my response to that was, "We already slapped drunk. You don't know if it's water or not at this point."
well,
Yeah.
that was why they always waited. They saved the worst
But
tasting stuff till
yeah,
the end because they were already
yeah.
drunk. It didn't matter.
nobody cares.
So,
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's always kind of amused me. Like, well, you could be slow slap drunk. You think anything is wine at this point.
yeah,
But no, but of course it did say Jesus did turn water into wine. But second one is I do think you have to have a higher standard if you are in leadership of a church,
Yes.
Mhm.
or because you live out your Christian walk a lot more publicly than does the average, believer or saint or what do you want to call them. And so I think that's why you don't see, or it's preached against in particular, um, more often by pastors and things, because they do have to live to a certain higher standard, and people that are in that kind of position will be judged higher for
Oh
that
yeah.
by God,
Mhm.
for decisions they may have, like you said, affected somebody else's life, whether that be the drinking or whatever, I can't really think of another good example right now, but basically they have to kind of be set apart to live a different life than a regular lay person, because of that. So
Mhm.
interesting discussion though. What about you, Doc?
Well, I mean, I could take the full Baptist view and say no drinking at all, but I don't believe that at all. Um, I would say drinking's okay to a point. Getting drunk is the big thing.
Yeah.
That's what it talks about in scripture. Don't get drunk.
Mhm.
Now, do some people take it to the thing
To the extreme.
to extreme with flee all appearances of evil, which is biblical, but um, it goes back to the weaker brother in
Yeah.
Romans where it talks about, so if by going out and drinking or having the drink and having people know about it, is that going to be causing my brother to stumble, or brother or sister to stumble? Is that causing them to be either A, judgmental, or B, oh, well, if this person is further along in their walk and they're doing it, I can do it and I'm good. But then they go off and end up going off the deep end.
You also
So
have to work.
I choose not to drink most of the time. I mean, I'll have a drink occasionally, but nothing.
Yep. You
I
have
mean,
to.
I had my phases when I did a lot. I mean, when I was growing up, when I was Nate's age, yeah.
So you also think about optics as well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't go like if you are a Christian that fully believes it's fine to drink, you have no obstacle, you don't have anybody sitting in your life that has an addictive problem, you probably don't want to go down to the local biker bar and because you might see somebody on your way there or coming out
That
of there
goes to
that
your
goes to
church, and
church
you're
with
just
you.
like,
Yeah.
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 So, there's also the optics of how it looks as well, not just the decision whether you drink or not or where you go.
That reminds me. So my mom likes to make beer bread occasionally, which it cooks out, but
Yeah.
she'll make it. She's like, "Can you go to the alcohol section get some?" And I'm like, "Why don't you just go do it?" And like, we're both here. She's like, "Well, I don't. What if Pastor sees me?" It's like, what is the difference? He's gonna see me. What's the difference? Like,
Yeah,
You're younger, you can justify it.
yeah. No, I've got a story about that too. So back when I was younger, probably Nate's age, I was in the army, around 20, and 21. And I was always the DD. I didn't believe in drinking. I didn't want to drink any of that. So I was hanging out with some friends, and we every Friday we went to this club and we shot pool. They drank, I didn't. I drove them home. Whatever. It was fine. We had fun. But there was one night where it was one of the new guys, and he was like, and he had a beer in his hand. He's like, "Oh, I want to run to the bathroom, but could you watch my drink for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, you just set it right there. I'll keep my eye on it." He said, "No, no, no, no. Can you hold it? I don't want anyone messing with it. No, you put it right there. I will keep my eye on it. No one will mess with it." And then it was about that time I saw out of the corner of my eye on the other side of the room one of the other ones with their phone up, ready to take a picture of me holding the beer in my
nice,
hand.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it just for optics, I just think I don't know, that seems. I'm doing it more not for optics. To say it's like, okay, if it's like I genuinely don't want that. Like I have friends
Yeah.
that have had issues with that, so I don't want to be. I don't want to be the one that's causing them to do that. Not that I don't have the freedom to. I just choose not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it just depends on. That's something you pray about. Like with anything, you pray about it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because again, there's many arguments you can take with this. There's like in the passage you talk about the feast. You got the story of Noah, where he gets drunk at
Oh, yeah.
a certain point. Like
Yeah.
there's that argument people like to bring up. So like it depends on how you feel about it and praying about it. Like again,
Mhm.
if someone offered it to me, I'd probably say no. But again, I don't have a need to drink. I don't like alcohol. That's never something I like being around. It's not. But I'm not going to judge someone for it.
Yeah.
Or if I saw a Christian drinking it, like with cred, you might get a little judgmental. But again, I don't want to judge them fully because what if they're judging me for something else as well?
Mhm.
So it's like I think there's a couple arguments we've brought up as something Christians will argue about to the end of time.
Right.
It's just the
Yep.
responses of it, how it's handled and everything. But it's funny the smallest things we get in arguments about in church versus outside church. It's a little funny, but then it's like, why are we arguing about this?
By the way,
at the
side
end of
note,
the day,
we've totally broken, too bad
Silly.
Silly Boy's not here because we could tell him we've talked about religion now.
uh,
Three things talk about: politics, pizza, and religion.
there we go. There
Yeah.
we go. Hey,
Well, this
that's
is
what
kind
it
of
is.
religion isn't really this thing because of the pizza party thing.
Yes.
Because we talked about religion. That was kind of a thing in the thing where Christian. That's this Christian stuff we're talking about.
Fair enough.
Yes. Yes.
Let me tell you about them. No, I ain't gonna-
Exactly. But
We're going to no.
we might have to do another one of these because we've picked all the long-winded topics to do. Which
That's not
it
all
works
the
out.
long-winded
No.
topics.
Oh,
No, it's
surely
not.
not.
But we
Yeah.
picked some of the bigger long-winded topics.
Couple
to
of
do.
them, yeah.
Yes.
So
But
yeah, no, I think we should do this again.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So if you enjoy stuff like this, consider putting down in the comments other topics we could discuss, or maybe your thoughts on some of the stuff we discussed.
Absolutely.
Especially in our Discord at the Pizza Party Discord. Links are down below. I didn't see anyone responses in it. I made a note in my head to post earlier about it so people could respond, and I didn't see anything that I know of. I didn't even see the YouTube chat comment. I had the live stream pulled up and I didn't see it right away. For whatever reason, I had the YouTube live stream pulled up last time, or like a thing off to the side in OBS, and it's not here now. So I
Yeah.
have to add that plugin back
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Thanks, OBS.
Yeah, thanks, OBS.
Yeah, thanks, OBS. So consider following us at Pizza Party Pod on most social media platforms. Mainly, it's just YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's really all. I don't care about all the other ones. TikTok, you do that one. But other than that, that's about it. Doc, where can they find you?
I'm on TikTok. That's really where you can find me.
Yeah. And you're
TikTok.
starting your new book, or you have started
Yes.
your new book.
Yeah, and a book on prayers from the Reformation.
Nice.
And I think I'm in Kings in the Bible part.
Kings of the Bible. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say you gotta start another book in between. Just do 2 books. See which one finishes first. Alternate days.
I mean, I also no, I alternate days with the Bible and the book.
There you go. That works. Strange, where can I find you? Or are you still kinda? I know you're talking about live
Still,
streaming.
everything's kind of on hold right now. So here, and then also occasionally streaming with Sketchbird and Hufflesnitch and Silly Boy if we can ever get him back on. Christian Assassin. But last night we actually Sketch and Huffle and I were able to stream, so that was fun. And I
Nice.
think Huffle was streaming as we were recording this. So
Nice.
there we go.
I think I saw a ping for Twitch
Yeah.
that she was doing that. So nice. Crad, what are you working on?
Still at Mary Harton Ministries. I am preaching not this coming Sunday or next, but on the 17th, I'll be preaching. So there should be some video from that coming.
Heck yeah. So did you talk to JJ if he was going to the camp?
I looked
not-
it up. I didn't talk to him because I didn't want
Okay.
to ruin it, but I did look it up, and it is him.
It is
So-
okay. So it's funny because Wednesday they're announcing stuff for kids camp, and it wasn't JJ on the flyer,
Yeah,
but on
No,
the
I'm pretty-
website it's JJ. So I don't know which one it is.
yeah, I think it is him. I really do.
That's
So,
funny.
I didn't want to give it. I really thought about asking him, but I didn't want to give it away. So, but I think it is him.
You should try tagging along. You can see me get tortured.
Right? Yeah. I mean, that'll make my week.
Or
So-
and make sure to record it for us.
yes. Or
We'll do a live long distance pizza party podcast.
there's no
Yeah,
internet
there's
there.
two
There's
of
no
us.
there's no cell service.
I'll figure it out. Man. It's fine.
There's
We got
no
signal
such-
boosters.
Starlink is for.
Get a satellite.
There we go.
That'd be
There
fine.
there is
Starlink or
satellite because
something.
my there is Starlink because my phone will ping occasionally when I'm by the
See,
lake.
there you go.
We'll do by the lake.
There you go.
You could find me at ft_fast talk views. Strange, I did find some of that candy you were talking about the other.
Oh, the Bubs?
Yeah, the Bubs. I was at Five Below. I haven't tried it yet. I got the banana toffee. That's all this
Ooh,
five. This is all the Five Below had was just the banana toffee. Nothing else. Just a wheelbarrow full of banana toffee. I was like, so either it's the worst one or
Yeah, because there's lots of flavors.
yeah. All they had was the banana toffee.
It's Five Below, so
That is fair. It is Five Below. Yeah. So that's going on, and of course these naked Cheetos that I just had that I found. The Doritos are fine. The Cheetos ones are a little weird. It's not even like I didn't even notice which ones it was. I thought it was just like the regular cheddar one or the regular ones, but no, it was the Flamin' Hot. So, that I think that's about
you
it.
got a nice little surprise when you took a bite.
Yeah, I was like, why are these spicy? Oh, they're the Flamin' Hot. Dang it. 'Cause I didn't think about it. I just grabbed the bag off. I was getting gas, and I just saw it, and I just grabbed it. I didn't think about it being anything else. When you see Cheetos, what do you think? You don't think Flamin' Hot. You think the regular ones. I mean, Flamin' Hot is
That's
a
like
big
all
one.
of their merchandise anymore is flaming hot.
That
It's
is
not
fair,
regular.
Yeah.
but it's not really on the bag. It's only Flamin' Hot says right here. There's
Oh.
nowhere else. There's nowhere else saying Flamin' Hot. So that's what threw me off. But yeah, there's 3 things we don't talk about. Literally, this episode: pizza politics and what's another P or another word? I had
Pianos.
one. Pianos. There we go. Pianos. That's the next one for next one we can talk about musical instruments.
Oh, there you go.
So yeah, this is episode 64,
Hmm.
which I fixed for this one. Yeah, the two guitars. I
I
fixed
saw
for this
that.
one
That was cool.
because
on the
I
live stream.
yeah, this is gonna be annoying because when I was doing the audio files and everything, I tagged last episode for 64. So
Oops.
now I gotta put. I guess I'll put 63.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the party.